Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's Monday meditation. If you have joined us before, you'll know that I always invite you to share in the comments or the chat where you're joining from. And if you're new here, then that invitation will be new to you. So please let me know where in the world you're going to be meditating with us from. I am based in Sweden, and my name is Gillian Florence Sanger, and I am um, one of the assistant teachers of the Mindfulness Meditation Teacher Certification Program with mindfulness exercises. And I support mindfulness exercises with a wide variety of other things as well, writing blogs and articles and supporting some things on the back end and course creation, that sort of thing. So again, let me know where you're joining from, and I'm just going to make sure that we're going live on Instagram because I don't think we are just yet. All right. So welcome. Now we are streaming to Instagram as well. Welcome if you're just joining us there or if you're joining us on any of the other platforms. So we're streaming to Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube. So hello, Kelly. Nice to see you. Joining from Cincinnati, Ohio. Again, as you drop in, you can just let me know in the comments or chat where you are joining us from. We have Kate, also on YouTube. Hello from the Chicago suburbs. Welcome. And Ebron, also on YouTube, says hello from San Antonio, Texas. So welcome. And on Instagram, so far we have someone sharing that they are from London, UK. Welcome. So we will get started in just a moment. But with all of these practices, I invite you to find a posture that works for you today. So often that is seated, and often we do encourage a seated posture because that can help us to remain alert throughout the practice, whereas lying down we can get a bit drowsy and drift off from the guidance, and that's okay. Sometimes we need that, but just take a moment to think about what would actually be of most service for you today, be that seated, standing, lying down. And just take a moment to come into that position, supporting yourself in any way you need to with blankets or cushions. And in the meantime, hello, Kara from Sammamish, Washington. And Emma's Berry Farm joining on Instagram from Poland. Someone else joining from New York. So welcome again, just taking your time to settle in. And I will guide us through about a 15-minute meditation, and there will be time afterwards for some Q&A and space for you to share your comments and reflections from the practice, anything that came up for you that you wish to share. Hello, Artie. Hello, Stephanie. Joining from Jakarta, Indonesia, and Boston, respectively. So as you're settling in, I'm just taking a moment to sense into the points of contact between your body and the earth beneath you. And if you like, you might just gently rock a little bit from side to side and find a nice centered, stable posture. A balanced posture. As balanced as you can feel in this moment. And you can close your eyes when you're ready. Maybe just taking a few clearing breaths as we settle in. So filling your lungs, expanding as you inhale. Maybe releasing a bit of a sigh as you exhale, allowing your body to soften and release. And allowing these breaths to help you make a mindful transition from whatever preceded this moment into this practice here and now. And breathe naturally without trying to guide the breath in any special way. And in today's practice, the invitation is to listen. To listen to what's here in your body. To listen to what's here in your heart. Listening to notice any patterns of mind. Listening to this present moment from a subtle separation. Listening as an observer. Just bearing witness to your experience. And the way in which we're invited to listen in this practice is to listen, one, with care, compassion, and two, to listen with curiosity. You're not listening to judge, to fix, to criticize, or to talk back. We're practicing just listening with care and curiosity. We often spend very little of our waking time listening. We are often imposing our stories, our judgments, our beliefs upon our experience. Whereas listening helps us to become an open vessel to receive any insights, any knowledge, to receive anything that wants to be heard. Listening to any sounds, literal sounds that fill the space around you. Maybe also listening to the sound of silence. But giving yourself full permission for the rest of this practice to listen, to just listen. To your body, your breath, your heart. Listening for any cravings or aversions. Listening to whatever arises in your experience for another few minutes. And if you find that you're becoming swept up by a story, a stream of thought, just noticing that very natural human tendency and seeing if you can come back to this intention to listen with curiosity, with care, as if you were an outside observer of your experience. And maybe honing your awareness on the sound of your breath as it enters and exits your body. And allowing your awareness to anchor once again in those touch points between your body and the surface beneath you. Perhaps setting an intention before we close this practice to continue listening with care and curiosity to your experience as it unfolds throughout the rest of this day. May I listen with care and curiosity. Maybe bringing a bit of gentle movement into your fingers and toes. And slowly opening your eyes whenever you're ready. So, taking your time to slowly come back. And for those of you that are in the Mindfulness Meditation Teacher Certification Program, you might like to take a moment to um, log this meditation in your meditation log for certification. So it was a 15-minute practice, um, and you could call it mindful listening of this moment or something along those lines. Um, and for those of you that are not in the program, if you're interested in learning more, I will share the links in the comment section. But I would love to know how your experience of this practice was today. Welcome, Klaus, who joined us. Artie said beautiful meditation. Thank you so much, Artie. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Thank you for your words. But I would love to know if there's anything that specifically came up for you that you wish to share. Any questions you have? Um, and if you're a teacher or if you wish to become a mindfulness meditation teacher, if you have any questions about this type of practice, or just guiding people through mindfulness meditation generally speaking, even if not related to this meditation, please feel free to share those in the chat, in the comments. And again, I shared the links to the certification program if you are interested in joining. Yeah, let me see here. I think I just need to share it to, LinkedIn stuff. Let me see on Instagram. So welcome to all those who joined on Instagram along the way. Ebron on YouTube said, I had a bit of wandering mind this morning. Yeah, thank you for sharing that. As you may know, but I'll say it for those that um, don't know, or haven't considered the fact that uh, a wandering mind is completely welcome in meditation. Um, of course, we may have an intention to bring particular qualities towards that wandering, again, such as care and curiosity. Um, but it is completely natural for the mind to wander. It's in the mind's nature. Um, and so the practice is really just to notice that and to hold that with curiosity and, oh, there goes the mind again. Okay. And coming back to the guidance or to whatever the anchor is. Um, so thank you for sharing that. And I hope that's helpful for anyone listening who may struggle with the wandering mind. My practice, completely transformed the moment when I just allowed that to be okay. Um, so I share that for what it's worth for whoever it's helpful for. Kate on YouTube says, I'm in the teacher certification course. I notice my face itching a lot, lots of energy around it. Also minor pressure in my chest, burning and pressure in my throat, residual stress. Thank you for sharing. Yeah, when we listen, when we really listen to the body, there's so much we can notice. Um, it can be stress. It can be like the raw sensations as you're experiencing itching in the face, energy, pressure, burning. Um, as I said, I think in the meditation, we don't often take time to really listen to the body, and um, or we hear something and we're quickly trying to fix it or figure it out or find a solution, and of course that's very natural to want to find a way to move through certain things that we discover, but it's also helpful just to notice and to bear witness to our experience. um, so thank you for sharing that, Kate. And I hope it was insightful for you in one way or another, this practice. Klaus said, I love your meditations here. Always feel good. Thank you so much, Klaus. I'm glad you could join. Artie said, I love the intention for today's meditation because it helped me not to judge myself, whatever my situation and condition during the meditation. Yeah, in mindfulness, that attitude of non-judgment is so foundational. I mean, that is what mindfulness is all about. Um, it's about softening that voice of judgment, criticism, beliefs about how things should or shouldn't be, and really allowing things to be as they are. And again, coming with that heartfulness, that sense of care and compassion and kindness towards our experience. Um, and we might notice the inner judge or the inner critic, and then the invitation there is also not to judge the judgment, to not judge the fact that we are harshly criticizing ourselves, harshly or to whatever degree we might be criticizing or judging ourselves, because that too is so natural, and so many of us have learned to judge ourselves, judge the world around us. And so a big part of this practice really is self-care and self-compassion, and seeing if we can shift the way that we relate to our experience and allow ourselves to show up just as we are, um, with that sense of openness and receptivity. So thank you so much for sharing that, Artie, and I'm glad that it supported you in developing that sense of non-judgment towards yourself. I'm glad it was helpful for you, Kate. And so again, just because I know there are a few of you at least here that are in the certification program, I know a lot of people struggle to fill out their meditation log, so I do invite you to really take that time to log this practice. Again, it can be called mindfulness or mindful listening of this moment. a 15-minute practice, and then you can just make a few notes about what came up for you. So it can be something like what Kate shared. It can be awareness of judgment or lack of judgment, or emotions, or mental wandering, anything at all. So also for those in the teacher training program, we do welcome, as I said, any types of experiences coming through in your reflections. The point of mindfulness is not to be relaxed or calm, but it's really to be just aware of what is actually here, without trying to change the reality of this moment. And the reality of this moment does naturally change and unfold from moment to moment, and that's a whole part of it. But it's really about allowance and allowing things to unfold naturally in their own way. Um, Emma's Berry Farm said, just at the beginning of my process, wandering mind is still a problem for me. But then I try to concentrate on one element, like birds singing or my breath, to silence myself. Is it good or bad? That is a really, really great question. Um, Very insightful. The first thing that comes up for me is my response is that I wouldn't say that it's like quote unquote good or bad. But to me, that is one skillful way of working with the wandering mind. So there's different types of practices, and even within mindfulness, it can be a little bit broad. So it sounds like what you're doing is using an anchor, or essentially it sounds like a focused attention practice. So when the mind wanders, we come back to one thing. We come back to the breath, or we come back to sounds, or we come back to the feeling of the chair beneath us. We can also have a less focused awareness practice, and when we notice the mind wandering, we we allow for that to happen, and then we allow our awareness to be open and flexible and soft, and just taking in the next bits of sensation that are flowing through our awareness. So I don't know if that helped. That there's two different sort of focuses there. One is actually quite focused, and the other one is a bit more broad. So it sounds to me like that's skillful. The one thing I would say, just in your post, you wrote, but then I try to concentrate on one element, like birds singing or my breath, to quote unquote silence myself. And I just think there's something that could be explored there with wanting to silence ourselves. Like, is there, within that wanting silence, is there an aversion to some thought that keeps coming up, or is there a craving for silence, for the peace of not having that thought, or that thought stream moving through us? So that is something I think worth exploring. What is the relationship to silence? Am I so attached to things having to be silent, or is it just a gentle, natural coming back to silence? So I'd love to know if you're still there on the live stream, how that resonates with you, that response. So yeah, it's. I think there's no right or wrong. Well, there's no right or wrong with practice, and some people ask, like what type of meditation is best? Is a focused awareness practice better, or is an open awareness practice better, Or is mantra meditation better? Or is loving kindness meditation better? And um, really, what's best is what we need the most in that particular moment. So there's no right or wrong. Um, and I think it's really a process of being honest with ourselves and curious. And for instance, we can get so caught on one type of practice because it's comfortable, but we're avoiding what might come up with another type of practice. So we could be sticking with a focused awareness practice because that feels really good, just to to stay anchored in the breath or stay anchored in one thing, so that we don't have to really hold space for the difficult things that are coming up. Um, maybe what's needed in that moment is compassion or softness around our awareness, just to open up to what else is here in addition to the mind wandering. So yeah, I think it's really a process of self inquiry and exploration. And I hope that's helpful for anyone listening here. Um, but yeah, thank you so much for sharing that. It's a wonderful, wonderful question. Yeah, Emma's Berry Farm says, yes, still here. Thank you. These are mostly issues of the day that keep coming back to me, and sometimes it is tiring. I just wish to reset my mind. Absolutely. The mind I would say it is, but sometimes the mind is a useful tool and is really a lovely place to play within. But it can also be very, very, very tiring. And there's also nothing wrong with wanting a break from the mind. Um, so if it's serving you and your practice, I think it sounds wonderful, and it sounds very skillful. The moment of mindfulness is the noticing of it. Um, and then maybe sometimes compassion is needed, or um, maybe sometimes an affirmation like, it's okay, this thought, it's okay that you're here. I see you. I'm holding you as a soft, gentle, loving observer. Um, so just some things to play with. And again, I really appreciate the question. But I will have to head off in a minute. So thank you everyone for joining. And again, if you're interested in joining our mindfulness meditation teacher training program, you have the links there in your chat or comment section. And you can also find it at mindfulnessexercises.com/certify. But I will be here again next Monday. So if you'd like to join me again in practice and bring any questions you have, then I'd love to have you. So enjoy the rest of your day or evening, wherever you are. And hopefully I'll connect with you on a call, on a live meditation and Q&A soon. So thank you, Ibran. Thank you, Stephanie. Thank you, Klaus. Thank you to all those who've joined on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube. Take good care, and I know I'll connect with some of you soon. So have a lovely day.